Hello everyone, and welcome to the OptiFish Partner Spotlight, a series that brings you closer to the people and innovations shaping the future of sustainable fisheries. I'm Lia Kasapoulou from Reframe Food, and as the Communications Manager for OptiFish, I'm happy to guide you on this journey. In today's episode, we will explore the vital role of stakeholder engagement and fisheries management with Hanne Hjelle Hatlebrekke from SINTEF Ocean. Welcome, Hanne. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So, Hanne, stakeholder engagement plays a key role in ensuring the success of OptiFish. Could you explain why this is so important and what exactly you do to ensure that all industry voices are heard and included in the project?
Yes, so stakeholder engagement in projects like these is essential. There's no point developing high-end technological solutions if they're not usable where they're supposed to be used, which is here at sea. So it's very important to have a dialogue with the industry that will be using this product to make sure that they're actually usable. And the way we do this in OptiFish is that we have a series of workshops, and we are reaching out to fisheries and interest organizations and also fishers themselves in different countries across Europe to ensure that we get a broad sense of the needs and the concerns and the hopes and dreams of the fishers. So we're having workshops in Norway, in Denmark, in Turkey, and in Spain to get this dialogue going, to share with them about the project, to show them what we are intending to do, and then to get their feedback on that.
Okay, thank you. So involving fishers from the very beginning ensures that the solutions developed are both effective and, of course, practical, which is very important.
Yes.
What are the biggest challenges or hesitations industry stakeholders might have about adopting OptiFish technologies?
So they are worried about... Let me start with saying that the fishing industry and fishers themselves often face scrutiny and criticism because in the media it's always said that, oh, there's overfishing, fishing is unsustainable, we're killing the ocean, fish is dying. Obviously overfishing is a big problem, but a lot of stocks are managed in a sustainable way and a lot of fisheries are sustainable. It's a very sustainable food generally. So the industry worry that they will be further vilified, get further criticism. For example, if the camera picks up, I want to say an accident, like they catch something that they're not supposed to, but obviously it was an accident that they caught it. What will happen then? They also worry about the accuracy of the data. If the scales are accurate, for example, if we're using AI, is the AI accurate? The costs they're worried about, and then obviously as well their privacy. Who owns the data? Can anyone get access to the data? Which they cannot. The data is not for sale. It is just for management purposes only and for research. But if it's for research, then it's anonymized.
So it's clear that while these technologies aim to support sustainable fisheries, they also raise concerns among industry stakeholders. Speaking of data, let's dive a bit deeper into that. What exactly are we using data for in OptiFish?
So we're using the workshop data to learn more about the actual working life of the fishers, like their day-to-day life. And we're also using it to maybe look at new management strategies. So something that we're looking into is evidence-based policymaking, where it's as simple as using evidence from the real world into the policies that are being made and not necessarily using an ideal world or how we wish the world was when making policies. And also looking at new management strategies. And one of these is something called compliance by design, which is just as simple as long as you follow the design, you do the required steps. For example, when reporting, you do the required steps, then you are automatically complying, even if you did catch something that you maybe weren't supposed to catch. You don't have to guess anything and you don't have to estimate your catches, which is being done in many countries today, for example. And also just to learn more about how they want the technologies to look like and maybe take their concerns into consideration and their inputs when we are actually developing and designing the technologies.
Okay, that's very insightful, Hanne. And of course, with all these data collection, many fishers have concerns about data sharing, right? So, how is OptiFish addressing these concerns?
So it's important for us to say that the data is not for sale. We are not selling it to the highest bidder. These data are in the project only, and whatever comes out of, for example, the workshops is anonymized. And from the workshops, we will share data, again, anonymized, with other policymakers that are not in the project, and for other technology developers to use after the project is finished as well, just to make sure that these innovations keep going. And for the data itself that are collected by the technologies themselves, that is for use by management to make sure that the fishers, because that's what we're doing, we're making catch reporting technologies to make sure that the fishers are not fishing outside of the regulations or outside of the quotas. And it's a tool as well for the fisher to see that they are not catching outside of regulations. They're not accidentally fishing in an area that they're not allowed to fish, or they're not accidentally overfilling their quotas. So it's a tool for both management and fisher to make sure that everything is going and being done in the way that it's supposed to.
So direct conversations in workshops allow for transparency and also mutual understanding. Now, I would like to discuss something else. How is OptiFish ensuring that technological advancements not only address stakeholder concerns, but also create solutions that are innovative and practical, which is the most important thing?
Yes, so that's exactly what we're doing the workshops for. We have to get input from the industry. We have to get input from the end users to create something that they can actually use. It has to be able to collect the data that we need, and it has to fit on the vessel. Every vessel is different, every fishery is different, and it has to comply with the GDPRs and like the privacy regulations to make sure that we're not, for example, showing faces, and we're not showing identifying features on the cameras or on the sensors. So it's the short answer to that is just the workshops. It's having this dialogue and actually talking to the end users.
Okay, so workshops are very important, but what about the OptiFish Academy? There is a fascinating project that plays a key role in training stakeholders on all these new technologies and data sharing and economic benefits. Would you like to tell us more about the OptiFish Academy?
Yes, so the OptiFish Academy will be a digital platform that will be available soon. We're still developing it. And it will be a place for all different stakeholders, everyone really who's interested in the project, whether you are a fisher, whether you are a manager, or maybe you're just interested in fisheries, but you don't work with it. So you can go in, you could find resources, there will be literature, there will be games available, just to make the project, it's just a way of telling people what we're doing in the project and also giving people more resources and education around sustainable fisheries.
Now, let's discuss something else. How is OptiFish making sure that the technological advancements not only address stakeholder concerns, but also create solutions that are both innovative and practical for fishers?
That's using the workshops. So the workshops is how we are getting this dialogue with the fishers, is how we are meeting them. We're having the local workshops, meeting them where they are, having it in their native language, and using the opportunity to explain about the project, maybe show some examples of the technological advancements, maybe showing to previous projects and results what's been done there, and the opportunities that it can provide for them. So, for example, the data collected using these technologies will make it easier for them to look at their own data and to make sure that they are within regulations, that they are within the bounds of their own quotas, and just to have an overview of their own fishing to make sure that they are fishing effectively and efficiently as possible.
Okay, thank you, Hanne. OptiFish Academy plays also a key role in training stakeholders on new technologies and data sharing and economic benefits. Could could you tell us a bit more about how the training is designed and what formats are used to make learning accessible and practical for different audiences?
Yes, so the OptiFish Academy, will be a digital platform where stakeholders from different parts of society can come and learn more about fisheries and learn more about the bits of the fisheries that they want to learn about. So there will be literature, there'll be games, there'll be other resources for them to go and just delve a little bit deeper into the work that we do. So it's not live yet, but we are working on it in the project, and it will be live sometime soon in the future for people to, interested people can come and learn more.
Okay, that will be very interesting, the OptiFish Academy. And it's very interesting to see how this collaborative approach shapes solutions that actually meet the fishers' real needs. In addition to technology, OptiFish is also focused on shaping policy and regulations. So how does the project contribute to policy reforms, particularly when it comes to tackling illegal, unreported and unregulated fishing?
Yeah, so I touched about it a little bit earlier about evidence-based policymaking and, for example, compliance by design. One way we are doing this in the project is that we actually have the Norwegian Directorate of Fisheries as a partner in the project. So they're helping us with their insights into how policies are made. They have contact with the European Fisheries agencies, EFCA, just to have that connection between the research and the actual implementation of our results. So we're very grateful that they are willing to spend their time with us and to help us make this project a success.
As we consider the broader implications of these efforts, what does the industry think about these innovations? How are they responding?
They're understandably quite skeptical, and I would be too if someone was like, "Oh, I'm going to put a camera in your office and watch your every move at work." So they're worried about, like I mentioned earlier, what's going to happen to the data. They're worried about maybe like the accuracy of the data. What if they catch something that they shouldn't catch and they report it? Will they get fined, or will they not get fined because they were honest about it? These are the kind of how will the regulations work surrounding the new technological innovations? That's something that they're worried about the costs. So in general, they're quite skeptical, which is also another reason why it's very important to actually go and talk to them and meet them where they are. An example from a Norwegian workshop that we've had is they were very negative in the beginning. They were like, our fishery is good. We don't really cheat all that much. Why are you doing this here? It's very unfair. They just thought it was unfair. They felt very surveilled. But then we said, but the purpose of this is to register your fish and to make it easier to report it to the Fisheries Directorate. This is going to replace, the key word is going to replace the current system. And they were like, so if it's replacing it and if it's not an addition, then they were a lot more positive because they don't like the way it's reported now. So when we got to explain that, no, it's not in addition to the system, it's to replace the system of today, they were a lot more positive and they listened to our arguments and they actually had a constructive dialogue. So that's why, and this will be different from different countries. So that's why it's also important to have different workshops in different countries. And in OptiFish, we'll have 2 rounds of workshops. So we'll have the initial round, get the initial feel of the industry, and then we'll have a follow-up workshop about a year later and give them the new results from the project and also hear if maybe their views have changed.
Okay. Thank you very much, Hanne, for sharing these insights and giving us an understanding of how stakeholder engagement and technological innovations are shaping the future of sustainable fisheries management. To our audience, thank you for tuning in to this episode of the OptiFish Partner Spotlight. If you would like to learn more about OptiFish, visit our website, sign up for our newsletter, and follow us on social media for regular updates on our journey. See you in the next episode.